It's not the end of me playing Spider-Man. There's definitely more to come. I sat down with some of our creatives and we pitched Spider-Man 3, which is going to be something very special, something very different. And you know, I'm just so grateful that Marvel changed my life and allowed my dreams to come true. And Sony are allowing me to continue living my dream. So, you know, it's a crazy thing, and it's never been done before, but we'll see how it goes, and it'll be as amazing and as fun.
What is good, YouTube? Hope you guys are well. So, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the Spider-Man update. Yes, there's another Spider-Man update, technically. And because you guys keep asking for Spider-Man updates, I thought I'd cover this story. So, if this channel ever hits 100,000 subscribers, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro with one of the greatest video games ever, being Spider-Man PS4. Or an Xbox One X with Gears of War 5, if that's what you prefer. So, when we hit 100k, that will be the prize, so it's going to be some time away. But if you do want to be in with a chance of winning that, just subscribe to the channel and let me know down below why you should win. And also, we are giving away EndGame as soon as it comes out the first week in September in UK. Why am I waiting until then? Well, because if someone wins it in the UK, I can't ship the prize. Obviously, it's out everywhere else, but just doesn't appear to be out here. So, the Spider-Man deal is dead. No, that is fake news. That is really fake news. So, what's been happening during Disney 23? Kevin Feige essentially said what he could say without talking about things behind the scenes, because it's not very good business sense to talk about what is going on behind the scenes until the new contract is wrapped up, etc. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. He knows things, but again, with him, he's not allowed to actually say anything. So, I've seen a bunch of content about some people saying they're lying, they're not lying, they're lying, they're not lying. But realistically, guys, they're talking business talk, and if someone says that Kevin Feige or Tom Holland's lying, you just don't understand business. So they're not lying, they are just doing what they are told to do. So essentially, at Keystone Comic-Con, Tom Holland came out and said that he is making Spider-Man 3. He pitched something to the creative team, not to Sony. So there's a lot of people thinking that Spider-Man 3 is going to be Sony only. Well, no, we understand and we've been told this isn't going to be the case if the new deal goes through. This is why the big Norman Osborn scene in Spider-Man Far From Home was taken out of the movie because they couldn't come to terms and conditions with the villains that the Sony owns. So that is why everyone was calling everyone out, going, oh, the Green Goblin didn't appear. The Green Goblin was never supposed to appear, guys. It was just supposed to be an Oscorp tease with a bunch of people building up to Sinister Six, but they pulled it because it didn't make much sense without the new Spider-Man deal in place, which makes sense, obviously. But if they go down the route of Sony making it, then Sony can do whatever they want because they own literally 900 characters. So it's pretty cool. So what is the new story? So I always say, guys, take this with a pinch of salt. But seeing as I've been told a bunch of stuff about what's going on behind the scenes, I can clarify that some of this is true. So Mike Sutton, or Mikey Sutton, who is known in the industry kind of, he put this post up, and I've been sent it by a good amount of people on my Instagram at Warstu. Try and help me get to 100k followers on there. So what he had to say was this: breaking news, I'm hearing from sources inside Sony and Disney that both sides might reach a new agreement in a week, more or less. I mean, guys, that is true because Sony did come out and say first, that's the only official thing we've had. They've said, we hope we can come to a new deal. So Sony did say that, so the information is already out there. Contract talks continue. I caution that in business, the smallest differences could result in this being tabled once again. But for now, they seem to be floating in the right direction. Tom Holland was given strict orders at a recent convention not to talk about the Sony-Disney dispute because he might end up spoiling sensitive information. Now, this is very interesting, guys, because you know Tom Holland is known as the spoiler king, but guys, he's an actor. Every time he spoils something, he's told to do it on purpose. He knows stuff, but he's not allowed to say anything. As I told you before, as we told you before, I said that, I joked with Holland personally when I met him back in 2018. He knows he has a reputation for talking. Just to clarify, a deal hasn't been reached yet. However, this is the closest they've been. Again, brace yourself. Should they be unable to close this now, they're going back and forth at this point. It's looking positive. But guys, this does not really tell us anything. This tells us no more than what I reported a couple days ago, because I've been hearing this ever since the story that Deadline dropped, saying that the deal was off. Well, let's be honest, guys. I don't really understand why this has come about, because this should have happened after Spider-Man 3. But like I said, guys, this is all to do with the Sinister Six and the villains that they want for Spider-Man, and they're trying to set Spider-Man up for the next 10 years. Being a bit greedy, in my opinion, but from both sides it works. I mean, obviously, Marvel does make $1 billion in toy sales from Spider-Man in merch, which sadly Sony sold to Marvel back in 2011. I don't really know why, because if you take these movies out of the equations, the merch makes a lot more money. So essentially what Mikey Sutton is saying is the deal could still be on, but it doesn't really clarify anything no more. But it is like going viral. There is a lot of people talking about this. So I thought I'd keep you up to date with what Mike Sutton is saying. And he does have some credibility. But it is interesting. Like I said, guys, take it with a pinch of salt. But there is loads of different people reporting the same thing. But the thing with Twitter and Instagram is when you got a big following, or when you got one of them ticks, you know, there's a lot of unreliable sources out there with ticks and stuff who people believe just because they've got the verification tick. But realistically, guys, the verification tick has nothing to do with how credible you are. Generally, if you work for a big company in media, you will get verified on Twitter for absolutely no reason. Whereas there's some really big YouTubers with 3 million plus subscribers, yet they're not verified on Twitter. Yet there's some websites that are verified on Twitter, yet they don't really have a big reach as a YouTuber does. So I do find that very interesting. So guys, let me know. Do you want Tom Holland Spider-Man back in the MCU? Because he's not actually left yet. You would have heard in the clip I played, I keep playing that clip because at Keystone Comic-Con, Tom Holland literally just confirmed he still is Spider-Man, and that is that. But some people actually don't want this character to be in the MCU because a lot of people are getting sick-tated and annoyed with the fact that Spider-Man Tom Holland keeps having to rely on Iron Man. Maybe if they take Spider-Man out of the MCU, finally, he can stand on his own 2 feet, which is essentially what he was supposed to do in Far From Home, which essentially was the kind of catalyst, I guess you could say, of EndGame. But obviously, because it was based around Edith glasses, which is essentially Iron Man still in control, it didn't really work this way. But it is pretty interesting. There's a lot of interesting stories out there. There is one story I want to talk about, but I just do not believe the source, so I cannot talk about it. But I did tweet about it today. If you want to know, at Warstew, at WWarstew on Twitter. I've said before, guys, how someone robbed my handle on Twitter, so I can't get it back. But yeah, it's the latest thing that I tweeted. I don't want to talk about it in YouTube video, but if you are interested, have a look there. So it is going to be a very telling time for Marvel because obviously they're going into new territory now. Spider-Man was a gimme for them. They don't really have any gimmies now in the whole of Phase 4, really, except for Thor. That's probably the only gimme, and Doctor Strange 2. A lot of the properties are new. They are going into a field they don't understand. They're going into a diversity field, which is going to be very different. And Spider-Man was pinnacle for them. Now, a lot of people are going, but Kevin Feige said this was never going to last forever. Yes, guys, like I said, it's PR. He was told it's business talk. He was saying that because he was referring to the initial 6-movie deal, which would have meant it wasn't going to last forever. So, do you guys agree with what Mike Sutton said about the deal could be on the table? Now, it could be, but guys, literally everyone is saying the deal could be on the table. There's no clarification. If you think Kevin Feige and Tom Holland confirmed it's no longer in the MCU, then you really need to a long, hard look and think about what they actually said. And looking at Tom Holland, he looked pretty shifty. People saying at the actual Comic-Con, he was at the Keystone one, that he looked uneasy and it just didn't seem natural. It seemed like he scripted. Then if you went to the ET interview straight after Disney 23, he kept looking over to the publicity team to his left or right. The way he kept looking, almost saying, is this right? Is the Marvel snipers going to come for you? Because obviously if anything breaks officially before the deal's renegotiated, it, just like Mikey Sutton says, it could mess everything up. Now, we've always stated on this channel that I do want like Spider-Man in the MCU because then you get Spider-Man Deadpool, Spider-Man Hulk, Spider-Man She-Hulk, Spider-Man Moon Knight, like all these cool properties. You want them to interact with Spider-Man. And if Spider-Man isn't in the MCU, there's like, it messes up the Young Avengers, it messes up the New Avengers. Essentially, Marvel was building up for Spider-Man to be their biggest character because it really helps them on merchandise sales. And a lot of people don't understand the merchandise sales are more important and more popular than the actual movies, because obviously the movies come once every 2 or 3 years, but with merchandise, it's consistently every single year, every Christmas, every birthday. Spider-Man merch is so freaking popular to kids. And it can go, I've seen some Spider-Man merch up to like £500, like $600. So it does make, you can understand how it easily gets past 1 billion in revenue. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll keep you up to date with the latest and greatest comic book news. Yes, the Joker trailer just dropped. I will be doing a video on that very soon. I will be doing a Star Wars video on the latest trailer for that very soon. A little bit behind. I've been busy behind the scenes trying to do some other stuff for this channel, which you will see in the coming week. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.